This is one of the most amazing birds that I've ever seen. They have to be one of the funniest birds in the world, and when they fly, it sounds like a monster. But what is this bird? Well, today we gonna find out all about the strange bird that has a scary roar, but is actually quite tiny. The strange bird that can't fly very well at all. And when it does fly, it sounds like a monster. This is the ground woodpecker. And this bird is also known as the laughing woodpecker or the Senegal woodpecker. Now, these birds are found in Africa, mostly in the southern part of Africa. You will see them in countries such as South Africa, Angola, Namibia, and Botswana. These birds love woodlands, especially where there are lots of trees with holes in them. These birds are great at climbing up and down trees. And if you see one in the wild, it's likely you'll see it climbing a tree. Their strong feet help them grip onto trees, and they have sharp claws that help them move around easily. Sometimes you'll see them hopping around on the floor looking for food, but they prefer to be high up in trees. When these birds are high up in trees, they use their long beaks to find insects hidden inside trees. They tap on trees, and they listen to the sounds coming from inside trees. When they hear a sound that they like, they'll drill into the tree and gobble up the insect inside. They mainly eat wood-boring beetles, but they'll also gobble up other insects such as termites and ants. Sometimes they might eat caterpillars or even spiders. Even though they're called woodpeckers, they don't only eat wood. It's the insects that live inside the wood that they love the most. The funny thing about these birds is that they laugh a lot. If you hear a strange cackle in a forest, it could very well be a ground woodpecker. And although it's called the laughing woodpecker, sometimes these birds make other noises such as growling and rattling. These birds usually make these noises when they're not happy. The Senegal woodpecker is one of the most vocal birds in the world. You will hear them almost every day, even in the middle of the night. They tend to get very chatty when the sun goes down, and they like to keep chatting throughout the night until sunrise. Some people say that these birds are like an alarm clock that you can't turn off. That's because they start making noise just before sunrise, so you won't be able to sleep in if there are ground woodpeckers nearby. Even though these birds are called woodpeckers, they're actually more related to puffins and falcons. They belong to the family called the and in this family, they're part of the tribe called the ground woodpecker belongs to the genus called the Acampophyta. In this genus, there's only one species, which means that the ground woodpecker is the only member of its genus. This means that the ground woodpecker is a very unique bird. There aren't any other birds that are exactly like it. The adult ground woodpecker is 24 centimeters long, which is about the same length as a European robin. And on average, they weigh around 100 grams, which is about the same weight as an American robin. Even though the ground woodpecker is about the same size as a robin, it's much chunkier than a robin. They're very round and small, and this makes them look very cute. Now, these birds tend to live for about 10 years in the wild, but some have been known to live longer in captivity. And although they can be kept as pets, I think it's best to leave them in the wild. That's because they're very noisy and they're quite destructive. These birds like to peck and drill holes in things. So if you have expensive furniture, then these birds could be bad news. And if you want to keep them as pets, you'll have to make sure that you keep them entertained. Otherwise, they could end up destroying your house. As I said before, this bird is quite strange. And one of the strangest things about this bird is the way that it flies. If you've never seen a ground woodpecker flying, then I suggest you look it up on YouTube. When these birds are gliding through the air, they look very elegant, but they aren't very good at flying at all. Most of the time, they just kind of fall through the air. Sometimes they flap their wings really hard, and this makes them look like they're having a panic attack. To be honest, watching a ground woodpecker fly isn't very pleasant. It's not graceful at all. Another strange thing about this bird is the way that it looks. It doesn't really look like a woodpecker. Most woodpeckers have long beaks, but this bird has a very short beak. Most woodpeckers have black and white feathers, but this bird is mainly brown. Some of them have a red patch on their head, but this is only found on the males. The females don't have a red patch on their head. Ground woodpeckers usually have barred underparts, but some of them have plain under. Although these birds look very strange, they're somehow very attractive. I don't know how, but they are. Maybe it's their chubby cheeks that make them look so adorable. These birds are usually found in pairs, and they're often seen in small groups. Sometimes, you'll see groups of up to 10 ground woodpeckers. These birds are very social and they like to spend time with other birds. You'll often see them interacting with other birds such as starlings and weavers. Although these birds can't fly very well, they do have one talent. That is, that they can jump from branch to branch without any effort at all. It looks effortless when they jump from branch to branch, and they seem to be very relaxed when they do this. They have special webbing between their toes, and this helps them grip onto branches when they jump. And finally, let's take a look at the nest of the ground woodpecker. The nests of these birds are usually made in tree cavities. They like to make their homes inside trees. They don't make their own holes in trees. Instead, they'll use holes made by other birds or animals. Sometimes they might use holes made by woodpeckers, but they might also use holes made by other birds such as butterflies. These birds usually lay 2 to 3 eggs, and the eggs are a pale blue color. The eggs are incubated for around 16 days, and after this time, baby woodpeckers will hatch. The parents will feed the young woodpeckers until they're old enough to leave the nest. So there we have it. We've now learned all about the ground woodpecker. If you want to see more videos about fascinating birds, please subscribe. And if you want to learn more about birds, there's a link in the description box below. Thanks for watching. Hope you'll learn something new. Bye.